Hello, everybody. Today we are coming back to this pencil drawing of Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Welcome to Art Prof. This is our global art party, and a reminder that you can come into our Discord, go to the Art Alongs channel, and you can see here I have posted the reference photo, a black and white version as well, and if you would like to make work during the stream, share what you make in this channel, and I'm happy to give you a shout out during the stream. Now, Rick Grimes has changed quite a bit. I'll show you guys what I mean. He's changed because he now has zombies in the background. I worked on the zombies quite a bit, but the consequence of having added the zombies is that he got all smushed and lightened, and I lost all the highlights and all the darks. So basically, my emphasis for today is that I spend time bringing back a lot of these darks and also getting some really specific details in the highlights. And then I also need to move his ear a good inch or so. So there's quite a bit that needs to be done, but my kid keeps bothering me. And I thought to myself, you know what? If I don't do this on a live stream, I'm never going to do it. And so that's why we're doing it on the live stream today. Tell me in the comments, what have you been up to this week? The good, the bad, the ugly, while I spend some time and try to move his ear over. I had a very productive week. Oh, this eraser is just full of graphite. Jeez, I feel like I need to clean it on a separate sheet of paper. I'm going to do that right now. It's just caked in graphite. Or if you have a pet, tell me what your pet has been up to this week. Lately, Buddy has been spending so much time outside. I think he spends more time outside than he does inside now. I don't know why he started doing that, but it made me wonder, wow, are you going to do this when it gets really cold? Because I don't know that you're going to want to spend that much time outside. Oh, geez, this is such a pain. I have to really erase because this is very dark. But I need to just get this. Oh my God, this is really hard to erase. Oh, but possible. I have to press so hard that my drawing board is shaking. Oh, I don't like making fixes like this, but they're necessary sometimes. And I know it's going to bother me if I don't fix this. Anyway, I was very happy because I sent off 2 spreads to my editor. If you missed it, I am writing a book. Can't tell you what it's about or what the title is, but I can tell you that it's finally being worked on my end. Publishing, oh my goodness, their industry, I feel like they're in a different time portal or something. The schedule that they work on, oh my gosh, it's so slow. I think I started talking to them almost a year ago. And it's just now that I am starting to write, which is nuts to me. But I am now on an actual deadline. And I've had to rework my schedule to figure out where the book fits in, because it's so different than other work where I can sort of space out a little bit and listen to music and all that stuff. I mean, I still do listen to music, but it's a very different type of work than making art, because even making art, I can space a little. If I'm just filling something in, it's like not a big deal. But with writing, oh my God, it's like the deepest focus that I can make myself do. And so I've had to rearrange my schedule, because I have to figure out when is the time of my day when that type of workflow is easiest. So tell me in the comments if you guys have to do something that really requires a lot of focus, a lot of energy, what time of the day are you doing it at? Because initially I was hoping that I'd be able to do it first thing in the morning, because that's when I'm the most fresh and alert. But I can't seem to do it because I always get stressed about lingering administrative things, like I want to reply to emails and stuff like that, and that becomes really a big distraction for me. If that's lingering over me, it makes me feel like I can't relax and get into the art. Let me redo the focus, because I'm working on his ear right now. I want you guys to be able to see that a little better. See, here's a zombie I added. I did make a video about adding these zombies, but I got distracted and didn't work on it for a while. But I think it's time for me to finish that up. Oh my gosh, I made that such a long time ago. So that's a new part of my life that I have had to try to balance. But then the other thing is I was really having good momentum on my stomach series. So much so, my mind was like racing all week. You know, when you have a project and it's like it finally takes off and there's this urgency with which you feel about the work. And I was like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so for that reason, I tried to, more than usual, burn through all of my admin stuff, so that way I could actually have time to work on these drawings. And I finished one of them. I just posted it on Instagram literally 5 minutes before the stream started. And I was really happy because that was the first piece that I had done on a big scale. All the other ones I'd done before were very small tasks. They were like 6 by 6 inches. I hadn't wanted to go on a big scale until I was really comfortable with the technique I had. And I was really happy with what happened on big scale. Because sometimes you scale up and it's like a completely different ball game. And it can be very confusing because all of a sudden things really behave differently on that scale. But I was very happy that it did work out. Oh my God, I have to move everything. This is nuts. God, I had not planned on like redrawing him today, but I guess that's what's happening because everything had to move over. Ugh, this is why check your proportions before you lay down very hard. Ow, oh my God, how am I going to get rid of this? Oh, come on. Ugh. Jeez, that's a workout. So that was a big deal for me because I really didn't know if it was going to work as a series for swanky New York City galleries. And it was like, oh my gosh, confirmation. It's going to work. It really is going to work. So I'm very happy about that. And now, oh my God, I don't think I can erase this. It's just, oh yes, I can. Oh my God, come on. Oh my God, this is so hard to erase. Crap. Come on, I just need you to erase it. I'm pressing so freaking hard. There it goes. Oh, ow. Okay, that really hurt. I think I'm going to take a break and check the chat. Ow. For real, that really hurt. Blue Wolf says, I do hard stuff in the morning before I'm completely awake and talk myself out of it. See, what happens if I don't do the focused creative work early enough in the day, I make myself super tired doing the other things. And then it's like my brain is spent and I feel like I can't focus anymore. So I'm trying to get to some creative work before lunch. But even that is pretty optimistic on my end. Olive says, morning. Definitely the part of the day I'm most motivated. Yeah, I wish I was more of a morning person. I'm such a night owl. If it was not terrible for my health, I would just stay up all night. I much prefer that than during the day. Lisa says, trying to paint hair with watercolors. Well, my pug recuperated after the removal of 4 teeth. Oh, I hope he's okay. Buddy had some teeth removed a little way back. He seemed all right. I don't know what it's like for dogs. Oh, Anna, you did Bushwick Open Studios. Sold 2 drawings, got featured in a James Com video. Well, tell us how Open Studios went. And anybody else here, tell me if you have done Open Studios or if you've been to Open Studios, because it's one of the best places to talk to artists in real life. It's so easy just to talk to them in a very casual setting. And it's just so fun to walk into people's spaces. And Mara says, my dog is sassy and very vocal. We also have Alexander says, this looks like a good place for the electric eraser. I think that's what you're saying. I don't think it's eclectic. I mean, maybe it exists. I have no idea, but I don't know how strong those are because at least the ones that I've seen have a really small tip. Tell me in the comments, has anybody here used one of those electric erasers? Because I feel like for this amount of graphite, you need a bicep to make it happen. But again, I don't know. I've never used an electric eraser myself. I've seen students using it. But I guess for me, the turnoff is that little tip. I much prefer something that's bigger and more blunt. Nicole says, I aspire to be a morning person. If I plan well enough the day before, I can do it. Yeah, but for me, that requires planning. That means I have to use a few brain cells, and I may be out for the day. Manette says, I still want to go to a local open studio, but need to conquer the anxiety about it. You know what's really helpful, Manette, is going with a friend, because Lauren and I had such a good time gallery hopping together. I don't know. I just feel like a big dork if I walk into a gallery by myself. It's a little bit awkward. But if you go with a person, it's a lot easier and more fun as well. Neil's asking, are you open to using AI for art prof professional work, not making the art itself, but with writing captions, emails, etc., automating business and admin tasks? Sure. It's just, I need to look into it. That requires time and attention. There's so many parts of the admin work that I do that, oh my gosh, I would love to make it more efficient. But to be honest, I've got so much on my plate that I don't feel like I can spend time researching and trying things out. I feel like if somebody came to me and said, oh, here's a way you could do it faster, I'd be like, yes. But I think for this week, I realize how much more limited my time is because I need to set in that time for the book. And I haven't had that before. And the book is such a different type of energy that for me is harder than the art, because I don't feel like I'm a really amazing writer. I think I write okay, and I have the expertise to make it okay that I'm not a brilliant writer. But for me, it's harder to write. And so that's one of the reasons why I feel like it's taking up a whole part of my energy that I didn't have to worry about before. And a reminder, everybody, if you want to ask a question, put question in caps, so that way it's easier for me to see your question. Yeah, Lauren has to use AI quite a bit for her job. And I know a lot of people are using it in all kinds of contexts. I think where it's been very helpful is when it gives you summaries. And I think that's really nice, because instead of having somebody take notes and taking the time to summarize it, that's pretty awesome. Okay, let's get back into this. Ugh. Forgot that I was going to have to do all this work to fix things. Let's come out a little more so you guys can see what I'm going to do with the hair. Of course, stuff always takes longer than you think it'll take. Stuff always takes longer. And you know something? I wonder, tell me in the comments, for those of you, when you're doing something professional, I'm not just talking about like, oh, I'm doing a puzzle for fun. If you're doing something in your profession to really do a great job of it, I would feel like I have to do it twice. Am I the only person who feels this way? It's like you do it once to figure it out, and then the second time is when you actually do a good job. I just feel like so many things I'm doing, I always have to do them twice. So I'm wondering if that's just I'm super uptight and inefficient or something, or is this just the way it is if you want to do something that's professional quality? Or I don't know, sometimes I get paranoid. I'm like, oh no, people are going to think I'm not professional if I don't do an amazing job of this. And therefore I have to triple check to make sure I'm not embarrassing myself. Perhaps it's just, I know this about myself, that I do a lot of things out of paranoia because I'm so worried that, oh, someone's gonna call me out. I'm a fraud. Everybody knows now. And so that definitely stresses me out quite a bit. Other things I can let go a little bit. But definitely for professional things, I get very stressed about that. I think I got to bring back his eyes. They got a little bit lost. God, everything got so smudged. Like, that is not what I wanted to do. And yet I think I was just working on so many other areas that I lost a lot of this stuff. It's hard. There's so much graphite on this right now that it's difficult for me to not, I mean, I guess I should just not touch it with my hand, because it just smudge everything like crazy. Okay, so we got him moved over. And I will be adding more details with the eraser stick. Let me pump up. Whoops. We're going to move down to the bottom like that. All right, did we decide? Am I just paranoid and therefore doing things extremely inefficiently by doing them twice? Or is this normal behavior when you want to be taken seriously in your professional industry? Right now, I'm just building up the foundation of tones. And then I'll go back in and I'll add more individual hairs, but I definitely lost the volume of the beard because everything got all smudged. See, this is what I mean. It's like I'm drawing it twice. But I do that when I'm editing, anytime it's something I'm putting out there. It's like, oh my God, I'm putting my name on this. Although then again, in social media, I've posted a lot of dumb things, so I don't know. But the nice thing about social media, I think, is that people move on pretty fast. So the lifespan of anything on social media is actually pretty short. I guess the only exception is YouTube, because on YouTube, people are still watching videos that you put out like 5 years ago, which I like actually, because on Instagram, after a few days, it's like over. Okay, good. Now we got back. I'm just bulking up some of the shadows. Sorry, I know you guys can't see this. I'm going to do it quick. Okay, let's come back to the beard. And his ear doesn't have to be that well defined. So I'm going to make it a lot darker. Is anybody drawing with me or making work? Or maybe you're doing something else, like maybe you're crocheting or something. Okay, so let's really show, okay, he needs a big hunk of hair back here. Oh my gosh, the hair is like all the way here. Wow, everything really had to move over a lot. See, this is why you guys really should check things before you go forward. Although I guess my excuse is that it was on a live stream and I don't focus as much. I'm always a little bit more distracted. Okay, yeah, we're going to bring back the hair here, and it's going to be really messy, but it's hair. Who cares? It doesn't have to look great. Plus, he's all like dirty and stuff. It's not like anybody's worried about the particular hair going in that direction. Oh God, this is a lot of work, you guys. But I do love Rick's hair, so it has to look amazing. Otherwise, my kid is going to be really mad at me. I don't know, maybe the whole doing things twice has to do with just reassuring yourself that there isn't some mistake. The thing that I do a lot for art prof that I really don't like is sometimes I mess up the dates or I like write the wrong day. Luckily, a lot of you guys are really good at helping me. Like, I love it when people point it out. They're like, Clara, I'm like, okay, good. I'm really glad you caught that. Like, we're having a workshop tomorrow, and literally today I was like, the workshop is Friday, October 4th. And people are like, Clara, is it today? I'm like, no. Jeez, I didn't realize I was going to have to do this much work to redo his hair. Okay, let's bring back his neck, which has to be wider than it was. Oh, and actually his whole neck should be pretty dark because I'm going to want to add some highlight back here. Okay, so we're going to make the part behind his ear, we're going to make that part a lot lighter. So that way it's like backlit. I think I might have done it too much. Oh, God, graphite is such a pain to erase. I feel like if this was in charcoal, it would not be remotely as difficult. Ugh. I don't know. Does anybody here really like graphite? I always find graphite frustrating because it always has that sheen. And so it's difficult to photograph, which I don't like. And it also never really gets like black. It's not like charcoal where it's like, whoa, this is like real black. I guess I like using graphite powder, but I don't know. I just feel like graphite has never been my preferred material. I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the way I draw, but I'm wondering for those of you guys who do work with like charcoal or whatever, some smudgy drawing tool, if you had to pick between graphite and charcoal, which one would you pick? Because for me, it would be charcoal every single time. In fact, I don't even remember why I picked graphite for this. Maybe it was because we were doing a beard. That was the reason I did the stream to begin with, because people were asking me about how to draw beards. Let's do his shoulder, because I have to move the shoulder down a lot. Yeah, wow, his shoulder's like, ah! His shoulder's all the way over here. Oh, thank God this area is in shadow, so I don't have to erase it. Okay, that's a huge help. Let's bring back his collar. I'm under pressure, you guys, because I told my kid, I was like, I'm going to finish him tonight. And now I'm looking at the amount of work that he needs, and I'm like, I don't know if he's going to get done today. We'll see. I don't think he has that much work on the highlight side. I think it's just this side I like really have to fix. Okay, actually, I think I need to bring this in. He's looking a little thick right now. Oh, the neck is definitely too wide, everybody. I don't want to erase this, but I have to, or it's gonna... Oh my God, it is so... I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Maybe I'll just make the background behind him dark, because I just don't want to deal with that. Let's go up to the top. And we're going to do the top of his head. God, I feel like I have to redraw the whole thing practically. I smudged this so much. I think that was my mistake. I think when I was drawing the zombies, I let him go a lot. I mean, that happens anyway. I always expect that. Whenever I add something else, inevitably I'm going to mess up some other part that maybe was okay before, but I think I really did a bad job of that this time. Okay, we got to redo all this. Oh my gosh. So this curl is fine. That's going to be one that I actually hold on to. But I need a whole other section here because this whole shape is so wrong because I moved the ear over. Yeah, this is, oh my God. I kept thinking, oh, I just have to change the ear. And now I'm like, oh my God, that means I have to redo almost all the hair on the right-hand side, which is like all the hair, basically. For those of you who draw figurative work, do you find hair difficult to draw? Because it's a very common question I get when it comes to drawing skill. A lot of people get really frustrated with it because it's just really hard to hold on to. You know, like you're drawing an apple, it's so concrete and clear. But if you are doing hair, it's like, oh my gosh, all those little hairs, and what do you do with that? I do love Rick's hair, though. He has great hair, especially when he gets long. I don't know, for me, anybody here watch The Walking Dead season 4? When he gets his hair longer, I'm like, oh. He was fine in the prior, but oh my God, when he grew his hair, I like flipped out. Okay. Now I'm going to start pressing harder because I'm going to really bring the hair back. And now I'm drawing little whiffs of hair. That is the fun part of the stage where it's like, oh my God, finally, I can draw all the little wisps of hair. It's the easy part. That's assuming that you've done a pretty good job with all the shading and the lighting. I'm just bringing his beard down a little lower. Gosh, I really hope I can finish this. But I can't go super long because I have a workshop tomorrow. Workshop tomorrow is Figures in Motion. And it's the first workshop I've done since my dental surgery. So this is definitely a test of my stamina. I'm sure I'm going to be fine. But because of the surgery, I've had to really think about my pace. Like, how do I do this so that way I don't make myself too tired? Because I used to project a lot. just because I'm used to that. That's what I did in the classroom. But now I'm like, okay, you can't do that anymore. And there's no reason I have to do that because I am not in a classroom. So for the first time, I'm going to act like I'm not in the classroom. God, what happened to the side of his face? It got like totally eliminated. Like I totally lost this edge. It's like gone. Okay, let's take a quick break. See what everybody is up to. And remember, you can put your stuff in art-alongs in the Discord if you would like. By the way, does everybody know that I totally redid our email list? Before I used it more for announcements, but now I've renamed the email list and it is called Art Bites. And it's a personal letter from me, trying to do it twice a week. Definitely Sundays. Wednesdays I'm aiming for. I did actually do that this week. I was very proud of myself. But a lot of people have told me they really like the switch in the newsletters, that they are less about telling you what's happening and more about things that are on my mind. And I also switched to a different email newsletter provider, Kit. I was using MailChimp before, but oh my God, they have the worst UX. Impossible to find anything. And Kit is $50 less than what I was paying at MailChimp. Does anybody here have an email list for their art or another reason? And if you do, what platform are you using? Because I'm so glad I got off MailChimp. Kit is so much easier, and MailChimp was like a little bit glitchy sometimes. But if you are not getting Art Bites, my newsletter, go down to the description below and you can subscribe because I have a lot of fun writing them. And I suppose it's practice for my book. I mean, I've always had a good time writing them, but I'm trying to be like really focused with the email list. Yeah, right? Like, how does MailChimp even exist? How come people aren't leaving MailChimp in droves? I just have it because I had it from a million years ago and I just never bothered to switch. It's a pain in the butt to switch, but I did it. And oh my God, I'm so relieved that I'm not on MailChimp anymore. Yes, Kit is really fantastic because you know what else Kit does is you send the newsletter, but it also publishes your newsletter like a blog post. Like there's an individual link to that. So I could send you guys a link to a newsletter that I wrote 2 months ago. And I really like that. MailChimp, maybe they had an option, but it's like I could never find it. Like every time I needed to find something in the menu and MailChimp, I have to look up, where is this? And then they have all these strange names for how they called things. And I was so confused. So yes, get onto Kit if you guys are looking for an email provider. Drawing Momentum says, I've never heard of soluble graphite. Crazy. Seems counterintuitive to preservation of the work, though. Somebody sent me liquid graphite. I guess it's sort of like liquid charcoal as a concept, and I'm very curious about that. But I like the liquid charcoal. I sort of think, I don't know. I have to try it. But maybe it's just I am not great friends with graphite. Obviously, we get along, but I don't enjoy its company. So Manette says, I feel like painting hair is easier, but drawing is difficult, and I still fight the impulse to include every single hair. We also have some activity right now in the Discord. So Olive is doing your first Inktober drawing. Who here is doing Inktober? Who here is certain they wouldn't last longer than 2 days? Me. I have never tried to do Inktober. Tell me in the comments who has, who's doing it this year. Oh, I really like this. Oh, and there's a TV up here with a remote control. Oh, it's a living room from Bird's Eye View. Oh, I love that, Olive. That's a really fun take. So Max is combining day 3 and 4. Cool. Yeah, it's really fun to see all the different ways that people go about doing things. Oh, Blue Wolf says you have to look for matte graphite. Yes, I have used the tinted graphite. I don't know. I just would always rather use charcoal. I know that's terrible to say. I don't know, Anna. I would really like to know why. Nicole says, it depends if I'm indoors or outdoors. Indoors, I love charcoal. Outdoors, it's either in pencil form, so it's manageable. I also like oil pastels, so I kind of like making a mess sometimes. Yeah, you've been doing some really beautiful work in oil pastels, Nicole. I saw one of your pieces earlier today in Show and Tell. It's been really fun to see your progress with that. Alexander is asking, what artboard are you using? I'm using a Masonite drawing board, but the paper I'm using is Strathmore white charcoal paper. George says there's an old saying that there's no good legal writing, only good legal rewriting, and darn little of that. Okay, so I'm not insane. That saying definitely reflects how I feel. Olive says, I've also learned with art, and when I'm first doing a sketch, my first drawing is never the best. The first drawing's just trying to put something down. Oh yeah, I absolutely see that as a warm-up. Oh good, Alexander says, only twice. Spend a week, sometimes longer, playing in my head. I study it in sketches, and I overthink the whole progress for a bit longer. Yeah, it sounds like me. And drawing says twice or more. If you're meaning sketches and such for tattoo, I always prefer to draw my own stencils, partly because I get to draw it twice. Oh, you do tattoo? That's cool. How many people here have a tattoo? Let me know in the comments. If you want, you don't have to. I don't have any desire to get a tattoo, not because I don't think they look cool, but because like I can't deal with like the physical part of that because I'm really squeamish. So that's the reason. I think tattoos can look really amazing. Nicole says, I wouldn't last a week for Inktober. I want to determine what I feel like doing each day. Yeah. Oh, so Olive has done Hughvember and Manette has done Drawloween. Oh, how is that different than Inktober? Okay, let's get back into this. I think I need to tilt my camera up a little bit. Give me a sec. There we go. I feel like I think he needs to be a lot rounder. His whole forehead got a little bit too rectangular looking. Yeah, I think I need to make him a little wider. I knew I had to do that anyway. But now I really have to do it. A big part of this is just, it's so hard to plan things on a live stream. Just, you never know what's going to happen. Okay, so let's bring back his cheekbone. That's what I'm really looking for here. I really like these. This is a Vierco. Oh gosh, what's it called? I don't think it's art graph, but it's these graphite sticks that are really nice and substantial. Some of the graphite cubes, they're really hard. For example, this is a big one that I have. And I don't remember. Oh, okay. This one is Cretacolor, and it's called Chunky Graphite. It's really big. It's like this, but it's really hard. And I find it difficult to use for that reason. Does anybody have plans for this weekend? My plan. So I'm going to teach the Figures in Motion workshop tomorrow. And a reminder to everybody, we have 2 other workshops that are available for registration. We have night scenes. This is a workshop topic that I've never done before. And the reason I programmed it was because people asked for it. Somebody in art club made that suggestion. I was like, oh my gosh, that's an amazing topic for a workshop. So we're doing it. Most of the workshop topics I pick, it's because somebody suggested it. So if you guys are looking for a particular type of workshop, you can let me know. Send me an email. You can tell me in the Discord. But I've always really appreciated that when people make it very easy for me to not do any work. I just do what people ask. It's awesome. But we also have the Portraits Flesh Colors workshop. There's space in that one too. So a lot of fun workshops coming up. And those are really great when you want to get out of your rut. Oh, he's looking much better, you guys. I'm really happy about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's start giving him more substantial hair. And there is pretty dramatic light up here, so how do I handle this? I think I have to move some of these hairs over. Okay, so I'm using this spot as the, I guess, foundation. But his hair goes up a lot higher than I had it before. So I definitely need to add more to the top. God, I feel like this whole stream is about drawing the hair. Because I didn't do a great job last time. Well, mostly it's the ear. I'm going to blame this all on the ear. That's really who's to blame in today's situation. I'm trying to keep my marks pretty loose. By the way, who here watched the reels that we released of Leslie Weissman's art collection? If you watched those reels, tell me in the comments. And if you did, what was that like? Because you know something, that's the first time we've ever interviewed a collector. And it was really, it was fun for me because I was like, wow, this is a whole part of the art world that I really don't know anything about. So that was a really unique experience that I don't think a lot of artists always get to have. Collectors in general are pretty private about a lot of things. Leslie's fantastic because she's so community oriented. Like, she really cares about the artists and their careers and supporting them. It's amazing to have somebody like her. So not all collectors are like that, obviously, but that was really fun to talk to her about all that stuff. And how you guys, it wasn't in the reel, but Lauren's in her collection. I think her piece wasn't at her house. It was like somewhere else. But I was like, nice. I'm only in like one collection. And it's kind of stupid. I don't feel like it counts because this collector, not like a major collector, but somebody who collected, actually, he told me that the biggest mistake he ever made as a collector was he had the opportunity to buy this engraving by Dürer, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? He had the chance to buy that print for $1,000 many, many years ago. And he said now it's worth like over $1 million. Like, dude, you should have spent that $1,000. That really would have been worth it. Yeah. It's interesting because I've been reading articles about the collectors and they all have a "this one got away" story. It's really interesting, all of the adventures that they go through to get the pieces. Because one thing that I think is wonderful about galleries is they really do see themselves as like stewards of an artist, that they feel strongly that the artwork should go to people who are going to care for the pieces and really have a relationship with the work. Because I guess some galleries, it's like they want to vet their clientele. Like they want to make sure that, okay, this is somebody who's really going to respect the work and care for this work long term. Oh my gosh, you guys want to hear something really cringy and embarrassing? Of course you do. So I had a woman who bought my painting a really long time ago. I think she paid like $2,000 for it. It was through a gallery. It was like the only time I ever sold something through a gallery. And then I got this call from her probably like 15 years later. And she's like, "I'm moving. Do you want the painting back?" I'm like, no. Like, that was so, I don't know. Is that wrong? I was a little bit insulted by that. And anyway, she was like, "Oh, is there somewhere we could donate it to?" I'm like, great. So my one purchase of my work ended up with her basically wanting to dump it somewhere. I'm like, oh my God, this is really embarrassing. This is my story of me having sold something, and that's where it ended up. Awesome. That really, yeah, that didn't really help my ego very much. So yeah, to this day, I really don't feel like I've been in a bona fide collection. Oh, the thing I was going to tell you. So the collection I'm in the collection of the Hood Museum of Art. It's at Dartmouth College. And okay, that sounds pretty bona fide. Yes, it is. However, the thing that makes me sad, it's not because a collector put me in there because they thought my work belonged there. It's because the collector, the one that lost the Dürer print, he gave it to them. And so it's in the collection because he gave it to them. I'm like, okay, that doesn't count in my eyes as something that really is like in a collection. It's in a collection because he gave it to them. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't count. Like, that makes me sad. So yes, it's my very sad history as an artist. You know, like I have friends who are in like bona fide collections. Like my professor Andrew Raftery has stuff in like the Whitney and Cleveland Museum of Art and like all these great places. I'm like, oh, I don't want my legacy to just have my art being tossed somewhere. So I don't know, maybe we can do something about that in the future. That's what I'm trying to do something about. Okay, let's give Rick these very delicious bits of hair. I'm gonna press really hard. Give him this one. Yeah. Ooh, cool. Good. Aren't you glad, Rick? You finally have hair. Ugh, this just feels like a big smudgy mess. It really needed to be redone. I'm trying to make it coarser. I feel like last time around I maybe made it a little bit too smooth, like especially in here. I should probably beef up that part of the hair. So let's move down to the lower section of the face. Whoops. Yeah, so needless to say, I don't feel like I have a very good track record of sales or collections or basically anything. And apparently, I didn't know this. I feel kind of dumb admitting that I didn't know this, but artists have their collectors. Like they have collectors who, I mean, assuming you get to this point where it's like, you have a collector and they're sort of like proof that your work is worth something because, well, obviously, most of the time to get in contact with the collectors, it's through the gallery. Like the gallery shows your work and then they show the work to their client base. So that, okay, that makes sense to me. I get that. But Lauren told me that if a collector has interest in your stuff, and let's say they collect one of your pieces, she said sometimes that's an in to the gallery because then it's like proof that somebody values your work who they value, because naturally galleries are all about selling. And so they really, really care about the opinions of their collectors. So that's a way in that I never thought about. And the thing is, obviously you can't find all the collectors. Some of them are not on Instagram for good reasons, you know, privacy and stuff like that. But I have found a few. And it's really cool. I've had some pretty decent conversations with some of them over DM. And it's really interesting to hear what they are into. Sorry, I keep going off camera. I'll try to remember. I think I'm not going to do as much smudging. I'm going to try to do some more like just direct work. Got to really bring back his pupil, his eyes. Got totally lost last time. Yeah, this all needs to be redrawn. Sheesh. I got to bring back all those highlights too. All the highlights got smeared. So anyway, I'm learning about the culture. So another person told me, they were like, oh, if you go to the art fair with one of your collectors, that's even better, because then the galleries see that you have a collector. I'm like, dude, I guess there are artists that have this who can be like, oh, you're my collector, please come with me to the Armory Fair. I'm like, okay, that's not part of my life yet. Like, but I think a lot of this does have to do with just that generic advice about seeing who you're connected to, because sometimes it's the most random connection. For example, and tell me in the comments if you've ever had a connection that just seems so far-fetched, but it like totally worked out. So for example, one of my recent art connections was my brother's wife's dad knew this artist who I had never heard of, but is extremely prestigious, like won a Guggenheim and all this stuff. I was like, wow. And he's talking to me about this artist like he's 8 years old, because they were friends in like elementary school and middle school. It's like he kept calling him by his nickname, and it was just like making me laugh that this was his childhood friend. And to me, I'm like, oh my god, this is this like esteemed artist. So it's like you never know where those contacts can come from. I think I read somewhere that you're more likely to have a connection that is helpful in terms of networking with people who are further away from your social circle. And I guess that makes sense. Because I definitely have had circumstances where that was the case. Because I guess your friend circle is pretty limited. At least it is for a lot of people. But it's those connections with just random people that you never anticipate. It's very funny to me. Okay, Rick, you getting some hair on this side. He lost all his hair. Maybe it's here I need it. Like I lost all his hair on this side. So let's bring in some crazier hair here. God, I missed like this whole side of his beard. Look at this. Look, it's all not there. Jeez. Now I can't find my kneaded eraser. Here it is. Does anybody have a particular brand kneaded eraser they like? Because I don't know that I like this brand. This is Prismacolor, and it's fine, but it's a little sticky. And I remember in art school, the kneaded erasers they had at the RISD store, I think they just said design on them. I can't remember if that was the brand or not, but those I really liked. And I've never been able to find them anywhere else. So maybe I need to go to Providence and pick up a whole bunch of those kneaded erasers, because they were not as sticky as the ones that I've bought. And I've bought many different brands, and I still have not found erasers that are like that one, not sticky. Because I'm fine with this one. I'm not gonna make a big fuss about it, but it's like not that. There's something about it. It was like more matte, the surface of it. And it also wasn't as soft. Like I feel like these are sticky and a little bit too soft for me. But again, maybe I'm just complaining because I never had brand allegiance for kneaded erasers before. But now I think I do, because now I'm trying these other ones and they're not quite what I want them to be. Okay, he finally has hair on the left. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is looking better, you guys. Okay, I feel so much better. Okay, he still has a long ways to go on the hair, but I think I figured out all the weird proportional stuff. I'll put it... Oh, it's really hard to photograph because of the glare. I guess I'll have to do that later. Okay, let's see what people are talking about in the chat. And how about let's get in here and look at the Discord, because I see some cool things. Okay, so we've got work here from Butter, who is starting a postcard. My mom has been struggling with her health. This feels like the only way I can send a hug. Oh, that's so beautiful, Butter. Oh, I love these bleeds. Your watercolor technique has gotten so delicate, and you really have a beautiful gesture in all of these leaves. Oh, she's going to love it so much. That is so wonderful that you can do that for her. This is from Max. Awesome. I love that you're drawing a duck in a cup. Now the question, Max, what is in the cup? Is it tea or is it coffee? That's wonderful. And looks like Anna's sharing some studio shots. We also have this big one. I think I've seen this one. This one I haven't seen, Anna. This one at the bottom. Wow, that's really three-dimensional. Does that one have clay on it? And, oh, these are days 3 and 4 for Inktober. Oh, okay, teacup and rubber duck. Oh, okay, so that's where it comes from. Okay, so this is day 1 by Max. And also, this is with the moon. Oh, I love these purples. That is beautiful. And then having the cleanliness of the design in there is just beautiful. And remember, everybody, Art Club is our best program for learning. It is the one that I am the most proud of. This is where you get professional answers dropped into your lap, and it really speeds up your learning when you have answers. And we are really the first stop. Anytime people hit a rough patch, somebody in Art Club the other day was panicking a little bit because of stretching canvases. And so Lauren and I came in and said, okay, this is what you do. And then afterwards, the person calmed down. And I feel like so often we get ourselves into those situations where you're like, oh my God, the VARs didn't try. What did I do? And so Art Club for a lot of people is the first stop when you don't know how to do something. So it's really fun. We have live group mentoring. You can talk to me and Jordan. It's very chill. So join us. It's really fun. That's where I spend most of my time, is in Art Club. So if you want to really hang out, I had a wonderful conversation today. It was just 3 of us, and we were able to really go in depth. Citizens asking, how do I balance wanting to do traditional art and my career become makeup art? Is your career in makeup already established, or are you still figuring out how to do it? Because my feeling is that those kinds of things reveal themselves as you do things. And the thing is, they keep changing. I mean, I've been doing art prof for many years now, but oh boy, Does it keep changing? It's never the same. And what I said today about writing the book, which is that I had to sort of overhaul my schedule to figure out where to fit that in. And so I think it's just that you're just constantly reevaluating, okay, how do I fit this new thing in here? Maybe you take a break for a little while and then come back to it. So it's usually not the type of thing you can predict in advance until the things are actually happening. And then you can start to figure out all those moving pieces and how you want to put them together. If anybody else has suggestions, I'd love to hear it for Citizen. Oh, okay. Yes, for 12 years, you're an interior design major and graphic minor. Okay, so is the traditional artwork something like fine arty, like painting or something like that? If you want to follow up, I can let you know. And let's go next to, oh, Rose has some deets. Faber-Castell's a little sticky when you first open it. You need to break it in a little bit, but it's more matte than other brands. See, it's not matte enough for me. It's still sticky, and I've been using it. Yes, this is croissant beard. So I did ask for feedback a little ways back when I first started working on this. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm pretty sure I have stills. And someone had this wonderful explanation for what was wrong that I thought was just so brilliant, because it's hard to explain to people what to fix. Do I have it? Oh, I swear I had it somewhere. Shoot, I guess I don't. Sorry. But somebody said that the beard should be shaped more like a croissant. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. It's so perfect. So well said. Angela's asking, what about white pinpoint erasers? What's a white pinpoint eraser? I've never heard of that. Yeah, Tombow makes that mono eraser, but for some reason I don't like it. It's not quite the right shape. I'm a General's Factus BM2 lady. See? General's Factus BM2. I don't know why it sounds like a missile. Like, why is it called a Factus BM2? Alexander says, I prefer a white nylon eraser. Oh, I've never tried that. Yami is saying Lyra needed eraser. Oh, maybe I need to get one of those. I've never seen that brand before. 7A says, who qualifies as a, quote, collector? Because it just sounds like someone with money. Or is there more to it? There's no particular definition, but the most simple version of it, and again, there's so many exceptions to this. Generally speaking, a collector is somebody who is buying from galleries. I don't really see them buying in other places because galleries and collectors have relationships that they have over time. And Leslie, who we talked to when we visited her home, when she talked about the pieces, she almost always mentioned a gallery. She would say, oh, we got this from Lyle's and King. This one is from Fredericks and Pfizer. Maybe she has work that isn't from a gallery, but it seemed like almost all of it was, at least the work that I saw. People don't buy a Kara Walker piece off Etsy, that's for sure, because all these artists, they have gallery representation. So the only way you can get their work is through the gallery that represents them. But generally speaking, it's people who buy from art fairs, they buy from galleries, and it's usually people who have a long-term interest in the development of the artist's career. I mean, there's a whole thing where people buy work just to sell it. I think that's called flipping. But I don't know. I feel like what I've read about that is people think that's skeezy. I don't know everything about it, so I'm not going to put an opinion out because I don't feel like I have enough information. But in general, if you buy things from a gallery, it's going to cost quite a bit. I was looking on Artsy the other day, and I feel like the lowest price I saw for anything was 1,000. And it wasn't that common. I mean, I'm looking up these ink drawings that are priced for $50,000. And so if you imagine that the cheapest thing is 1,000, like I saw one gallery, a smaller gallery, like not a big one, and the average price for everything there was at least 15,000. They had a few things for 1,000, but most things started at 3,000 and up. So yeah, the money thing does have to happen. Does my best friend count? Collector can be defined anyway. I don't want to feel like I have to say these are the requirements for being a collector, but in the art world, that is usually how it's perceived. I am in your collection, Blue Wolf. I love that. I know, Olive, right? I was so insulted when she asked if I wanted my painting back. It just made me feel like total crap. Right. The figure workshop was your suggestion. See, I really listened to everybody. And remember, the next workshop coming up is portraits, focusing on flush colors. And we also have a portrait coming up that is about night scenes. Lauren has written a really wonderful lesson plan on how to paint a night scene. And she brought up all these things that I just never, ever thought about. Pentel Click eraser. I've used that one. It's a little bit too wide for me. Yeah, you are undercharging. Well, I saw a piece at the Armory Fair that I genuinely loved. I love this piece. Oh my gosh. And I looked it up later because they have a art fair report. Like usually they say, oh, here are the biggest pieces that sold. And I looked at this piece and it sold for $30,000. I was like, I cannot even conceive of selling a piece for that. Now with the 50% commission, the artist is gonna get 15,000. But still, I'm like, even making 2,000 would just like blow my mind. So yeah, we'll see. I'm working on it, you guys. However, I was very proud this week. You guys can be proud of me, which is that I got a bona fide New York City gallery that I am genuinely interested in to follow me on Instagram. I was really, really excited. It's been taking me months. And in art club, we've been doing these study plans, which is a slideshow template that I make for people. And then they customize it. And then I talk to them during live group mentoring and we work on the study plan together. But I've been making my own study plan and I've been like updating who's following me on Instagram. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's a lot of people to keep track of. And I have been lucky. I've gotten a couple key people to follow me, but I'm still not like ready to do anything yet. Probably the next New York trip, I will call up a couple people who I made some kind of connection with, or at least try to get together. I know, I was like, what? Oh my God. I'm just so happy Lauren's helping me with all this stuff because I got this one thing totally wrong. And oh my gosh, if she hadn't told me, I think I really would have messed this up. Okay, so what it is have to get oriented. Oh wow, he really needs work on his mouth. Okay, let's work on his mouth. But I did have a gallerist who last time I was there, I got together with them. And this was really exciting for me is they said at the end of the conversation, they said, oh, share with me, send me some of your stuff. Of course, I was like having an absolute fit when I heard that. And I was like, okay. But the thing is, with the postpartum stomach series, I'm not that far along. I only have the 4 belly button pieces. And at the time, I hadn't done any of the big scale pieces. And I really feel like I need that because that's ultimately the work I want to show. And so in my head, I was like, oh, I should just wait until I have more of those finished. And then I'll tell her, oh, here's some stuff. And Lauren was like, no, don't do that. Don't wait. You've got to get it to her. I was like, really? She was like, Clara, if you wait too long, it might never happen. I'm like, oh my God. Like if Lauren hadn't told me that, I would have just sent her stuff like a month later. Lauren's like, you got to send it now. I'm like, oh my God. So Lauren told me about this website called Art Record. And apparently it's the site that galleries and collectors use. And so I got myself set up on that. And it's really nice because it's very easy to generate a PDF. You can also send them a link to your site. And first of all, how would I ever have known that I was supposed to use Art Record? No chance, okay? Second of all, how would I have understood the time frame for things? Because it's not like she told me, oh, send it to me by next week. She just was like, oh yeah, send me your stuff. And if Lauren hadn't told me, I think I would have really messed that up, you guys. So thank goodness Lauren told me. And so I just sent off the few pieces that I had. And, you know, maybe now that I have that bigger piece, I'll update it and send it to her. But, oh man, that was stressful. I was like, God, like what do people do if they don't have an insider like I do? It must be very confusing, I imagine. So I was very grateful that Lauren was there to set me straight because I never would have known that. It is so much like a club, you guys. I can't even. I wrote one of my Art Bites newsletters recently was about how the art world is like Mean Girls. It's like you need evidence that you're in the clique. And Lauren is my evidence that I'm in the clique. If I didn't have Lauren, I don't know what I'd be doing. Actually, I know what I'd be doing. I'd be calling up some of my very successful former students. Some of them are really killing it in the art world right now, and I'm so proud of them. But yeah. I don't know. It's almost like the secret society, and it's like you need to know what is the handshake and what does everybody wear and what's the thing. It's like there's all these weird rules, and you can't find them anywhere. Only people who are in the club know about it. You can't search for this kind of information. Like if you guys tried to look up how to do something like this, there's no information on it. I bet you anything we're it. So I'm very lucky that I have people on the inside helping me because, oh man, I would have so squandered that opportunity. So anyway, I'm dishing on that information. So if anybody here is interested in that, I'll share as much as I can within reason. Obviously, there's some things I can't share for privacy reasons, but we do have several people in Art Club who are working on getting into galleries, and I share a lot of information in Art Club. In Art Club, I share a lot of things I wouldn't share in public. Again, not the sensitive information, but I do give updates and I'm very specific about what I'm doing. And it's still really early though, because I decided that I wanted to start all of this maybe like 6 months ago. And there's still a lot of work to be done. But wheels are turning, everybody. You'll be the first to know. Oh God, he's looking really worried. I mean, he should be. Zombies behind him. So Erin in Art Club, I put this in the last newsletter, Art Bites, which, yes, you should subscribe to. So Erin reminded me that these postpartum stomachs started with zombies. The zombies were what I did to figure out what I wanted the fumage technique to be. Because it took me a while. I didn't figure this technique out quickly. It took a long time. It took a lot of troubleshooting. I had to figure out what were the best tools to do things. And it was through the zombie drawings that I figured that all out. So really, all you need to do to figure yourself out artistically, you just need to make fan art for your kids. That's what this all stemmed from. You just never know where things are going to come from. I feel like he's a little too smooth. I like all his wrinkles here. This is the fun part. This is the stuff where I'm always like, don't do this part. And now it's like, yes, do this part. Hey, I get to add all these details. Yes. But the other funny thing about being on Instagram and trying to follow people for galleries, this is something that surprised me. So in the beginning, I always thought to myself, okay, well, I should find the galleries I want to show in, and I should just like things and interact, okay? And that is true. However, this really works, you guys, is if you just like and comment on the things like you genuinely really like. For example, today, God, what's the name of the gallery? I think it's Han Art Gallery. ZT? I can't remember. I put it in Art Club. But I saw these gorgeous, huge drawings on paper. Oh, I shared them in my Instagram story. If you go to Clara Lieu on Instagram, check my story. I posted a picture. It was of these two white columns. And they had these like beautiful, atmospheric, airy drawings on top. And I thought I saw that and was just, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And so if you find things that you personally adore, that's how you find the galleries. Because I'm not going to want to be part of a gallery that shows work with fluorescent colors and popular culture references. That's not my jam. And so if you just go through and you just like the things that you actually like, because I think sometimes it's easy to say, oh, I got to find the most prestigious place. Let's interact with them. But it's like, it really does matter to genuinely interact with the things that you enjoy. Because I found this other woman, actually, this is in my Instagram story too. Her name's Roberta, and she's in Italy. And I just found her, and I love her Instagram. She posted a reel today that I thought was so beautiful. And I love her Instagram stories because they're really like clean and like beautifully designed. It's like her Instagram stories don't look like anybody else's. They're really beautiful. And I said in my story that what I liked about her reel is that it captured that like quiet, contemplative place that I get to go to when I'm at a museum. It's not the same as being on my phone. On my phone, I can't function like that. But if I'm at a museum, I absolutely can do that. And her story really made me feel that way. And so she doesn't run a gallery or anything like that. I think she curates here and there. So I don't have any particular like reason why I should be networking with her. But I looked at her feed and I was like, oh my God, I love all the work on this feed. Like a lot of it's monochromatic, a lot of it's very subtle and simple and really clean looking. And I just like really love the aesthetic on there. So if you find accounts like that, where it's like, yes, I genuinely love the work that's on this account. It's like, that's how you find the people. Because I think I made that mistake too, where I was like, oh, I need to follow these places because they're prestigious and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, there are places I do that with. But ultimately, it's like, that's how you find the gallery. It's by genuinely looking at the things that you adore yourself. I know that sounds weird. It's like, yeah, duh, Clara, but I don't think it is, because I think a lot of us feel that we have to do things to network. And sometimes we feel like that involves doing things that we don't enjoy. But I have made that more fun for myself, because I know that sometimes it's just networking feels like such a drag. But I was like, oh, if I just really pay attention to things that I happen to like, this is way more fun. Okay, he's starting to look a little better. I think I need to get back. Yeah, he definitely has more of a croissant beard, that's for sure. Let's get back to the bottom of his beard. Because this is really hard, because he has white hairs in his beard. So it's difficult because you have areas where you want the white hair to show up, but it's like you don't want the hair to look like highlights. So I think a big part of it is just here and there. God, I can't even pull out the highlights here. This is really hard. I think I built up too much. Maybe up here I could bring out some. I don't know. Maybe I should just, I don't think I can erase into that. So maybe I should just go in really hard in some of these spots. I guess it goes back to just in general, I've always believed that if you're doing something and it feels like a total chore, see if there's any way you could try to make it fun. Because my kid, who is in college now, is taking a drawing class, and lately just has been super frustrated because she doesn't like the assignment. And oh, he needs more hair up here. Sorry. I forgot about this whole chunk of hair at the top. Okay, yeah, we got to come back up here. This whole side. So anyway, my kid was doing this assignment and was really not liking it. And my spouse and I, we were trying to say, well, listen, I know you don't like that assignment, but see if you can find a way to make it worthwhile, even though you don't like the teacher and you don't like the assignment. And I think it took me a long time to feel like I could do that, because sometimes you really just have an annoying class and an annoying teacher, and you really don't want to put in the time to do something well because you're just so annoyed about that. So I understand that, but I've done that with several things where I'm like, oh, I hate this. Okay, I've got to find a way to make this not so painful. And I feel like that's what I've done with the galleries is I've just been like, okay, this is still an opportunity to find a lot of artwork that maybe I otherwise would not have looked at. And it's true. I've discovered a lot of cool things. I started following some people who work at Sotheby's, which is not as relevant to what I want to do, but it's still interesting. And the thing is, there is so much overlap in the art world. So you never really know how these things are going to work out. He needs more. I keep getting distracted. I know I'm supposed to work on that part, but I really want him to have eyebrows. Because he's going to look really weird without eyebrows. He's going to look like my second kid. My second kid had no eyebrows for the longest time. It was really funny. Okay, yeah, I think I just need more hair back here. Extend this out some more. Oh, yes. Okay, I think it's working, you guys. I think I finally got the head shape that I want. Oh, yeah. Yay. Oh, that's exciting. I'll add a couple wisps of white back here, but not that many. I wish I could do more, but it's really hard because everything got so dark. I'm trying to sit up and see it from a distance. I feel like this hair got in the way. Of course, it's like the one that's the darkest, but you know something? My General's Factus BM2 is taking care of it. I think it needs to be lower. I think it's like here. There, that's better. I think I was losing. It's a little tricky. Everything's like overlapping here, so it's sometimes really hard to see what's actually going on. Let's get back up here. I feel like I did not make these highlights as bright as I should have. He's stressed. I think I need to add more wrinkles. He's really stressed out, you guys. It must stink to raise kids during the apocalypse. I think that must be rough. Okay, we're going to add more wrinkles here. Just a little bit. I'm not drawing them in that dramatically. Trying to get the bags under his eyes a little more substantial, so I'm going to bring down this shadow. Oh, and his nose shrunk. Should be way, yeah, what did I do? Oh my gosh. I almost like lost that nose. Okay, we got to redefine that because it should be all the way up there. And this should be darker too. I think he needs to be darker. I think this is, I think the lighting is not quite there yet. Maybe I'll do a little smudging and a little bit of lifting with the kneaded eraser. The kneaded eraser is like my best friend. I swear the postpartum stomachs I'm doing, I swear the kneaded eraser is doing 95% of all the work. I'm using a rag and some sumi brushes and a couple other things, but the kneaded eraser is definitely where it's at for me. That is doing all the heavy lifting in that series. Okay, that brings back some of the highlights. So I really want these as like white as I can possibly get them to be. Needs a little bit more cheekbones. Get him a little bit thinner here. All right, let's see what people are saying in the chat, and also if there's anything happening in the Discord. Oh, this is so wonderful, Max. Love the line work. Too old to be a duckling. Quack, quack. I love watching the progress during the session. It's a lot like open studios and art club where it's a longer session, and so people can work on stuff and get feedback in real time on voice. Silver Song is starting some figs. You can see a little bit better up close. Oh, I love the basket. That's really beautiful, Silver Song. Love it when you guys post in there. Wait, there's another face when upside down. If you turn it upside down, there's another face. I mean, I did draw zombies back there, so maybe that's what you guys are looking for. I'll take a photo so you guys can see the whole scene, but there's like 6 zombies behind him, so you guys can see that in a little bit. Char of Heart says, I was watching one of your videos. Open this live stream. Just started watching your content this week. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you joined us. Brian says, he could be Shaun of the Dead by the way he's running away from those zombies. Olive says, I went through, watched every single one on figure and gesture drawing. Thanks to that live stream, I improved on figure drawing so much more. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so glad to hear it. I love it when people tell me stuff like that. Brian's asking, is this a George Romero type genre drawing? I don't know who George Romero is. Sorry, somebody has to tell me. Nicole says, oh, you used to be an opera stage manager. Wow. There's definitely an insiders club in music too. I'm not on the inside, but it's so weird to watch. Oh, every industry has. I remember there were cliques in academia. You go to faculty meeting and you know who the cliques are. It's really annoying. There'd always be like the boys club. I hated that in academia, and they just like pal around all the time. It was very frustrating. Thanks so much, Angela. I hope my kid likes it. That's the that's the real test, is whether my kid thinks it's okay. So a reminder to everybody that we have 2 workshops coming up. These are a great way for you guys to get a boost in your motivation, to get yourself out of a rut, and most importantly, to improve your skills in color when it comes to portraits. Not the easiest technique to get, But this is a place where we can solve all of those problems. Maybe you have drawings that are looking too muddy. I can help you out with how to get the colors more vibrant, but still being convincing as flesh tones. And remember, we also have the upcoming workshop on night scenes. And this is going to be a really fun opportunity for us to explore a very unusual set of colors and effects, because when things are in the night, they are very, very different. So join one of these workshops, and the best place to hang out with me and the staff is in Art Club. This is where we have lots of live group mentoring. And if you do annual membership for Art Club, you do get 2 months free. This is where all the staff is hanging out. You want to talk to Jordan about character design, get tips behind Mia's amazing painting techniques. She'll tell you all that stuff in Art Club. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.